Good evening.
Good evening.
Looks like only you and I, Patrick, are on video. The only brave ones. Wait, no, there's Todd. He's just got his camera weird.
I figure since there's so many blatant Samsung advertisements, I'm going to show you what I got at Best Buy.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, that's from Motorola. I'm sorry. I couldn't
Is
wait.
that like a Flava Flav watch?
That is, yeah. If you wear it around your neck, you go, okay, Google, play Public Enemy. Oh, thanks, Ubi. Shut up. Every time I say okay, it beeps. Oh, no, thank you. It finally did.
There'll be more of me with my video when I'm not eating dinner.
No problem.
I'm carrying on a conversation with Ubi here of non sequiturs.
I just had something like very interesting I was going to try to talk about. I had a topic in my head and I started this whole call and I forgot it. Man. We could just go line by line through your list in your posts. Just
all right, fine.
Direct answers to every single line.
Let's do it.
That would be actually damned useful.
You know, we could do it. What was the point counterpoint PBS show where they would get like 4 or 5 people around the room, and it was with John McLaughlin. That was the guy. And every time somebody would answer, we'd just go wrong.
Dana Carvey does that skit great.
Who is in the car? Is that Gilbert?
I hope it's a car and not the ocean.
He's now a new. Did you guys hear he's an Uber driver now?
What's that?
He works for Uber now.
Oh, yeah, and followed Apple's GPS instructions.
Yeah, oh no. But he tweeted the other night that a couple of people came up to him at a stop sign and said, "Are you our Uber driver?" I guess he looks like one.
Wow.
Problem with having.
All right. I should have this like in an open browser tab all the time, but I have closed it. Patrick, do you remember what the title of that was?
Yes, the title is SmartThings Current State is Stalled. Did I inflect the question mark properly?
No, it's playing it through my.
Yeah. All right. I'd actually bite on that and go through it line by line just to see how fruitful that is. It would be a nicer formatted list if you would have used the bullets.
Yeah, but angry rants on Monday morning really don't prohibit proper formatting. I mean, if you go on
seems
an
like there's time for bullets.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who has time for this? But I did at least hit return twice, so they're properly.
Well done.
That is nice.
Well done.
All right, let's talk about
Android.
Android. How many more versions are we going to have before we actually see anything fixed?
So I'm trying to have the team that puts the release notes out be a little bit more verbose than they are. I don't like bug fixes.
Icon telling me one of the things that I had was unformatted or not properly configured was so valuable of a feature add.
There were some presence. I think the bulk of what they were working on this last one was some presence detection things with Android.
Phone. I'm going to reboot it. Okay? I'm here. I'm here. I'm going to reboot my phone. I will be gone. Watch this. This is fun. I will disappear. Let's do this here.
It's like magic.
It is. It is. This is like a live magic show. Here we go. It's rebooting.
But how will we know that you're gone?
Oh, you'll hear it. And Ubi will announce it too. Of course, Google's logo is backwards. So this is problem number
Patrick disappear.
1. As Todd just pulls up his Mimo Light post here. But here's the problem. Now that I've introduced my wife into the SmartThings ecosystem, every time I reboot my phone, typically at midnight because I don't sleep, it tells my wife an alert, Patrick has left. She thinks I'm leaving her, okay? This is a problem. And then about a few seconds later, I come back, but why is my phone taking forever to reboot?
Because you're trying to show it off.
Exactly. This is Bill Gates' demoitis right here. Watch, I'll get caught in a boot loop or something along those lines.
So
But-
my wife would be happy when I left, but sad when I got back. Are you having a problem?
No. She's paranoid that I'm leaving her all the time. But really, I have to blame it on SmartThings.
So, Patrick, on this one, I feel like that's working as designed.
So just update the documentation.
I mean, what radio is telling SmartThings or the cell tower or your wireless network that your phone is still there? It's not on anymore.
Well, cache the last destination until an update is sent. Why on startup does it assume I'm away? Why can't it cache the current location? If
How
I
big
was
is your geofence?
Yeah, but why should I? Why would the default be away? Why wouldn't the default be the last state?
How big is your
Every single
geofence?
time, it's always away.
Yes, it always, no matter what, it marks me away and then immediately says, "Oh, look, he's home." My geofence.
So
is about 500.
as your phone boots up, the GPS probably powers up, and the Wi-Fi is joined. Those are the two things that tell it. I understand your point about, use the last cache state, but I mean that's extra logic that like we haven't built in. That seems very, very specific to a very edge case.
Oh, and look at that Google
For
Play.
one, who reboots their phone?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. No, I'm just one of those crazy developers that tends to reboot my phone at midnight on regular occasions. And of course, in the wonderful world that we live in, demoitis, SmartThings crashed. And look,
Oh man,
it stalled.
Hey Major, I'm gonna need you to follow the thread that's going on because that's already way out of my league there.
Oh wow.
How is this acceptable?
So is it just taking a while? Is that what's happening?
Oh, it finally came up.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so it's finally up. So, and I'm currently home. So, I'm not away anymore. So, thank you. This is the problem. Now, just for the sake of my love for Control 4, we're going to do a live demonstration of their interface. So just tap the app. Let's just see how long there's. But you'll have to edit this. Hang on, it's finding my local system. Oh.
Hey Ben, is this a good use of our time?
Hang on.
Gilbert, I know. I think part of it is everyone sharing, and so I feel like it is a good use of people's time. We won't really go through and harp on every single point, but I mean, this is I think this is an important part of it.
No, I get that, but this part specifically, I feel like the point has been made on the Android taking a little bit longer to load and some presence issue, but I think it'd be more effective for us to go to the next item rather than
all right, let's talk about cameras with Android. Completely broken. Can't trigger a smart app to take a picture because there's no persistence. You have it on iOS. I mean, how hard is it to pull up a list of images from AWS?
So would you say that because that's the top of your list when you first started writing that's also top of your list for priority for Android?
I think to make parity. I mean, what is the purpose of even having camera support if all you can do is pull up one image that's live, or a few seconds delayed after you hit the take button? What's the point of having a smart app that can take a snapshot or a burst shot of photographs when you can't pull it up on Android? I mean, the answer is go get an iPhone.
Yeah, we get that one.
Or a Windows phone.
Oh, you have a Windows app?
Come in. It's submitted to the store.
Will that support persistent
Who
image?
Who knows?
But I mean, that's one of those things that is pretty frustrating when you want to use somebody rings my doorbell, I want to be able to, call up that image. And along with those lines, why not a more robust notification system where we can actually attach images or even create a link to that image? It's up in the AWS cloud. Why can't we create a secure link to it?
Yeah, I mean, and you know why? It's because that hasn't been prioritized above other things yet. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm actually trying to pull up some of the priorities for Android now, but I can't seem to get in there.
That's okay. And we know that, the user level support, it would be great. And honestly, there isn't really many platforms out there that have multi-user support. So to me,
we're gonna be one of the first then.
Yeah.
That's another big one that's happening Q4.
Okay.
Greg says he can take stills on his drop cam in Android and see the images later. Are you using FOSCam?
I'm using whatever example I built my generic device off of using the AWS. I think the Dropcam is providing a link from Dropcam, if memory serves me. So it's using their API rather than accessing the local image storage and the S3 storage.
Yeah, I mean, we all acknowledge that like the camera support has to become much more robust. We want to store images locally, allow image storage to be local. We want, if not saved streaming video, the ability to see, video live. So we get that. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's other things on your list that'll actually, I think, be more. More along the lines of the things that we're going to be like getting to in the next month or two, but yeah, certainly some of the things are not there.
All right, well, let's talk about the IDE. I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago. We had a wonderful conversation about all the wonderful things you wanted to add to the IDE.
Yeah.
Any updates?
So, I mean, do you think that like in some world we have a gathering of requirement session, and then it doesn't take like a couple weeks to like get that all prioritized and put in place so that we can start to do that? I mean, that's the process that's going on right now. We hired a brand new developer who's actually working in that code base this week. So I mean,
but
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The bonus of it. I mean, what's being done to address how slow it has become?
We're definitely working on some things to make it faster, both in the front end code, but also, back end calls. We are kicking off a full, like productized, like sort of like a product kickoff for that. So we're treating it like a separate like part of the product versus it has been sort of treated as part of the platform, and we are elevating how it's being seen internally so that it can, get the sort of get the attention that it deserves. So yeah, I mean, I think we're doing all the right things. Are we doing them as fast as I want to? No. We're doing very few things as fast as I want to go. But also, every time we go fast or faster, there's regressions or whatever else. We have to make sure that we can, QA everything as the code base gets larger. So yeah, we can't go as fast as we once did, obviously, but I still think there's a pace that we can set that's faster than we've been doing in the last 3 or 4 months. And I don't want this to only be Patrick talking. I feel like anyone should throw out some ideas of things that they like or would like to see modified or altered.
Hey Ben, as a couple of people have been asking, how long is it going to take to get the user submitted apps through? I know that was kind of stalled for a while. Are you guys putting any extra effort on that, or what do you have to talk about on that?
All right. I don't know if Chandler is here. There's Ermin. There's 3 of us that have been based in areas. Major and Chandler and I have been basically spending the bulk of our time the last week and a half really churning through those submissions. We've seen that people have done multiple submissions that haven't got through the process yet, and we're working towards something where we can have a a pace of like, releases every Friday, or something where we'll do that. We'll be having a number of smart apps released this week, probably Friday. And yeah, our goal is to get like 2 a day done at least, maybe more. And then as part of the IDE and other developer tool improvements, we're also improving the whole process and workflow for that submission process. Hopefully, we'll be hiring some more people as well to help on that. But yeah, that's been a big push, because obviously we can't have a lot of more innovation on the process where if it stagnates in approval process. And really the only thing that's been holding it back is time to like review them and test them significantly, and then code review them. So we've got a little bit better process now, so we'll be able to move a little bit faster, but process improvements to come.
Cool. As far as the quantity of submissions going, can you talk about? I mean, is it a huge amount sitting there? Or?
Yeah, we're not getting like hundreds a week. I would say it's in the 10 to 12 per week right now. So obviously the goal will be to like get to a point where we're approving about as many as we get. We just have a backlog we're digging out from underneath, and we're taking sort of an approach where we're trying to find like the ones that we can push through more quickly, and then so it might not always be like first in, first out, but we're trying to put priority on the ones that came in like even a few months ago.
So I have like maybe 9 or 10 that I submitted in early July, and they're just now starting to come up for review. And like, it's good that I'm starting to get some feedback on it, which is great. But I guess for me as a developer, the big question is, you're saying you want to get a couple a day or a couple a week or whatever, and that's fine. But as a developer, I don't know how many you're dealing with. So having a goal of the time for approval should be 2 weeks or a month or whatever. Having that number, it helps me as a developer set my expectations.
Yeah, it certainly will not be, a month. I think our goal for approval from, submission, maybe submission through, communicating back and forth a little bit with the developer through completion. Obviously we'd like to get that into like the 2-week time frame. Okay. We just haven't, it's all manual right now. And, even when like we move something from like one status to another, you don't get notified directly. And so there's just tools that we have to build out that'll help with that.
Have you given any thought to letting devs update their own apps or streamlining that process? So once it gets published, if we need to like improve it, we just start over again.
I don't think it's a start over again process, but because none of the approved apps have been modified yet, I don't know exactly how that works. If Bob was here, he could probably address that a little bit better. But I would imagine that there's a similar approval process, but it would be faster because it would be flagged as like already having been published. That's a question.
Can't we have GitHub handle a lot of that stuff? Because can't we just submit a pull request against that repo and have it reviewed that way?
I believe so. I just don't know how that like cascades out to anyone who's had that installed or whatnot. But that's what I'm not clear on. I'm sure we've thought about it, but I don't know like what our decision was. So that would be a good thing to figure out here soon. I know we've been talking about it for a while as well, but like just more robust GitHub integration for more than just a few people. I think that's a key thing to roll out. I'm not sure exactly what the holdup is on that. We've had it ready from a development standpoint for at least a month, maybe 2, but there's probably some like terms or privacy thing that we're still like working through. So I got to figure that out.
Are we still assuming that all apps that we publish are open source license?
Yes. Yep. All right. This is like a a sprinting start for the meeting tonight. I like it, and I like all the videos I see up. Who's next? Patrick, you have to wait a second.
I'm waiting. I'll just
chewing on his bottom lip. Look at that.
The only things I had, to really like mention today were, if anyone wanted to talk a bit about Logitech or, that's been the latest labs release. There's a number of upcoming events that we have around the country that people can participate in if they want or just learn more about. And then I guess it was the Smart App releases coming on Friday that we've kind of covered a little bit. But I know, Gilbert, are you still on?
Yep, I'm here.
So if anyone does have like questions about the Logitech stuff, be a good time to ask them if you have them. I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't have a Logitech remote yet.
Yeah, get the new one from Best Buy so you don't have to do the firmware upgrade.
Yeah. So we've got a question about, it says, what's everyone's opinion on the Logitech integration? I currently have a Harmony 1, thinking about taking it to Best Buy and trading it in for one of the new ones.
It works out pretty well. I like it a lot. I never had the Harmony 1, so I can't compare it. But the nice thing about this one is that it's using the hub, so you can have an enclosed system and ensure that your events are actually going to fire to whatever unit you're trying to control. One thing I do a lot is sit on my remote and it will still fire the action because it doesn't have to be facing the IR blaster of whatever you're trying to shoot. But it works out really nice.
So does the new Harmony, does it have RF also, or just?
Yeah, well, it's RF. It's RF from the remote to the device. I don't know if they use RF to communicate with any end devices.
Yeah, if it's like Dish Network, all mine are UHF or RF.
I would recommend going to the Logitech website, and they have a compatibilities list, and you can find out whether or not your device works with it before you shell out or however much.
Right.
And Dish does support IR.
I don't like having IR. I like being able to be anywhere in the room and be able to turn the channel, not have a direct line of sight.
They also support IP connectivity as well. I don't know if Logitech.
But Todd, you don't actually have to face it because you're going to be putting this hub in your media cabinet.
Yeah, the default Dish protocol is a UHF RF remote, but they do have IR bud support. That's what I use at my rack. But I also am testing their IP connectivity as well.
Andrew asked about the firmware update. I don't know what the price is going to be, but Logitech states that it's going to be relatively low for you to upgrade your existing Harmony hub to accept the new smart home products. What are you playing with, Major? Is that tissue?
We're testing a smart app right now that is like a moisture sensor, and it turns on the coffee machine. We're trying to make it moist.
Try licking it. The 2 contact sensors on the bottom.
Takes like 5 minutes, we think.
To lick? Like a lollipop?
I thought that was the humidity one where it was like, when it's humid in your shower, start your coffee machine. That's a crazy smart app, by the way. But all right.
It's not getting any humider in here.
So Jackrabbit Slim, I'm gonna need a different name, Jackrabbit Slim. That is, I can't call you that. I can call you JRS, I guess. He's asking about a more robust Ubi integration. Ermin, are you still like half passed out back there? Have we had any more talks with Ubi? Are they like extending the integration right now?
No. Not really. I think they were thinking about adding some stuff.
I wrote a smart app to discover it and a device type to get the information off the device. I think I put that up on GitHub. What kind of integration are you looking for? Most of it's on their end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking for anything. It's up to them what they want to do with it.
Exactly. I mean, to me, it's
Jack,
just a device that has a temperature sensor, humidity sensor, air pressure sensor, and
That's what we want. They were building. We couldn't do that because they didn't have the API for it. So I think that's going to be next for them.
yeah, they have the API, but it's only closed. It's only invitation only. So
Yeah.
I wrote it, I tested it, tried it with somebody else. They couldn't access it because they didn't have permission to the API. So it stalled.
do they have to add additional phrases and things like that?
No, they have wildcard phrases. They have a lot of really cool stuff within their system, but the biggest thing I ultimately removed my SmartThings from them is because they hit SmartThings every 10 seconds. And it just fills up my log with spam.
I'm surprised that we're okay with that. Maybe it's just because there's so few Ubis.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, they should be subscribing to change events, not constantly polling.
Right.
Which raises a question. Do you actually have change notification in the API?
Yeah.
I don't think you actually do you? Can it be set up to do change notification? Well, you could do it in a device type. You could actually say on a subscribed event change ping Ubi, but they kind of wrote it backwards.
Well, my OAuth API, if it detects a change on any device, it sends a GET request to my home automation system.
Yeah, just kick them off, and then maybe the IDE will be a lot faster.
Honestly, don't think that's it, but yeah.
I'm all for
no, I get as we're prioritizing the IDE like full backlog, I gave like a dozen like top level items to the team that said, hey, if you're waiting to work on something, these are them. Top on the list was make it faster. So we know it's a thing. I mean, I have to load it all the time, and yeah, it is slow. Not just the IDE, but like your smart apps list and all of it. So figuring out how to make those faster is what
second issue is not being able to see the debugs for larger responses.
That just debugging in general.
Yeah, I mean,
I would put that above speed.
Debug to a file. Let me debug to something else. But a complete overhaul of the debugger to actually allow me to see what's going on would be so much better. I don't care if it's slow if it works.
Right, debugging.
What I use?
What's that?
I use the Hello Home interface to output the strings.
That's genius.
Well, I got an iPad sitting there, so I use that as my debugger screen. iPad mini, and then I'm running it off either an iPhone or an Android. They always come out from there. It doesn't matter if it's down in a child device or a service manager. It goes out to there. But the debugging screen, it depends. Sometimes strings will come out, even if they're just 20 characters. Sometimes they won't when you're dealing with service managers, especially. Very, very on again, off again debugging. It's kludgy, but it works.
It's a good idea. I was using state variables, and still that got too big.
I suppose if I was clever, I'd just debug to a web service somewhere.
I've thought about that a million times and just never bothered to do it because I keep hoping that it'll be better.
Yeah.
Is the TCP Lights app going to receive an update soon?
Is the what's the main thing you're looking at, like to control more lights?
Well, I got a free light bulb from them due to an outage, and I tried to add it today, but the smart app still sees the same count of light bulbs. It won't see the newest one that I just added.
And do you know what how new your firmware is?
For the TCP?
No, your your hub firmware. I mean, basically, I know that there was a firmware change you could request from support that would allow some additional TCP light bulbs to be added. Todd is actually the TCP light bulb master on the call right now.
I think the TCP app is updated where it fixes the discovery and fixes the DHCP issues that we were having when the IPs were changing. And also I added in the power usage for each bulb on that. So it's submitted, it's in the queue, but it hasn't been looked at yet.
I think Jody's issue might be something a little separate. Jody, I would recommend shooting support an email to see if they can run you through some troubleshooting on that. They might be able to figure out what's going on with that. It might be separate from some of Todd's new improvements.
I have 705.
Did your TCP hub see it when you added it through the TCP app?
Yeah, the TCP app can control the light. It sees it just fine, but the count remains the same when I look at it to try to add an additional light in the SmartThings.
Does the light show up in a room?
On TCP, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then, yeah, that should work.
Todd, do you know that if he has to use a new Service Manager or whether or not he can use his old one?
Well, like Ben was saying, there was some firmware stuff that got updated because you could only have, 3 TCP IP connections going out, commands.
Yeah.
And so that firmware to 707 took care of that, but the Service Manager will take care of the IP address moves.
It's all static IP addresses, and I'm on 705 right now. And I had this issue before because I started with 5, and then I added 5 more, and I had to uninstall and reinstall and reset up all the rules to get it to work. And I think that that's where I'm at right now again.
Yeah,
on fixed IP, you had to do that? On fixed IP address, you had to do that?
Yes.
Wow, that's new to me. Have you heard of that before, Gilbert?
No, I haven't.
No matter what I did, it would not see the new light bulbs, but I uninstalled the Smart app, re-added it, and it found all 10 of them instantly.
Yeah, it's been a while since I added a TCP bulb, but I had a point where I had to add a new Smart app or a new Smart app altogether, the Connect Smart app, in order to find the new bulbs, and that was actually months and months ago. So I don't know if anything has changed on that part.
That I haven't heard. I knew about if you're on DHCP and the IP address changed, I knew it got lost.
Oh yeah, we talked about changing that to use the MAC address instead.
Yeah, I fixed, that's all fixed in the submission.
Yeah.
It was easy, couple lines.
Well, Major, if you're keeping track of notes, put that one up on the list.
I think I've got an extra TCP bulb around here I could try adding. I haven't done it in a while.
Right? What else are people interested in talking about?
Nemo light.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. That. Yeah, it's up in the submission also. This one, Gilbert, I know you and I need to talk some more about making some different device types for this, but the one that's up there right now is just dedicated to be a garage door opener with a open-close contact sensor like you put on the ground, a little green switch or magnetic switch. It's wired in. It acts just like what you see on the Nemo Light website. So it's just, that's the device file that you see, just like they have on their site. It loads it up, detects it for SmartThings automatically, and then works pretty good. So as far as the garage door controller, you get one of those magnetic switch or contact sensors. And one of these, you're out the door pretty cheap. Have full control and indication of open and close. And I think I said last week too, I put a power sensor in there code, so it'll check whether whether it lost power or not. So that way, if you come home and your garage door doesn't open and the power's off, it'll let you know why. So, With wants to know when.
Yeah, we'll look at that one as well as all the other submissions. But I mean, Todd's stuff doesn't usually need a lot of back and forth, and so we can probably get that through sooner rather than later.
Well, I didn't hear Ermin choke on that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where those guys went.
Oh, they leave.
Beck with his thing tonight. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right.
What are the rate limits and retention limits on API data?
I don't know if there's a person on this call right now that knows that. Unfortunately, I should probably know it, but I do not.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Well, I haven't seen any information, and I guess that since it's our own smart app, that it shouldn't matter. But like I've got a home automation server that I want to pull and retain data. Usually, when I'm dealing with an API, they have limits to how long you can keep the data, how fast you can pull the data. Does SmartThings have anything like that in place?
So we probably should publish this more widely and then sort of like have a standard. Right now, we sort of reach out to people who we find what we feel is like pulling too much and ask them like, what they're doing. Is there a better way to do it, or some other means that they can get to their goal without like that much traffic coming through. That said, like we haven't seen it be like a very big problem yet, but I think we do need to like clarify that more about what the rate limits are and whatnot.
What are you polling and how often?
Not much at this point, but I just noticed how slow it is when you try to poll a list of devices. Say I grab all of my lights, and it takes 2 or 3 seconds, and it seems like a heavy usage. So I didn't know if I'm polling those, every hour or so, is that too much, or does it not matter?
Can't you have your lights send their state to your home automation system instead of having to pull for it?
Yeah, and that's the other question about retention is, can I just pull a list of all the device IDs and store that and then only receive updates?
What I'm doing, and I pull every 3 minutes just to kind of make sure that everything stays in sync. Maybe that's too often. I bumped it down to 5 minutes a while ago.
A few more questions in here.
So Sean asked about the Nest integration. I can speak a little bit on that one. So we're very ready to do the Nest one. Well, we want to, but in order for us to meet their terms and conditions, there's some modifications that we need to do, specifically on data retention. Nest requires you to delete data past, I think, 10 days, and that's something that we don't currently conform to. So in order for us to officially support it, we need to make some changes on our part. And that's likely to come up in the coming months.
It brings up a good question. We're doing a number of infrastructural changes, both to address this, but more importantly to increase platform stability and speed. One of those things, though, is basically throwing out data, not really throwing it out, but basically having a cutoff for how much data we store. I know Patrick mentioned in a thread about, I think it was you, about wanting to be able to like have your data long term. I think that we have to have a path forward on that front before we make the change. But yeah, there is something in the works as far as like, putting putting certain amounts of data in like our like sort of like RAM storage, and then like the older stuff being put in like sort of deep storage where it's not readily accessible. I mean, it might be still there.
Right, and I'm not a lawyer. Let me just make that perfectly clear. But it's one thing for you guys to agree to not store data with, specifically as it relates to Nest after 7 days, and I understand their terms and conditions. But as an end user, I have every right to my data. So if I want to install a logging smart app that pulls my Nest and stores that data up on Xively or something else like that, that's not outside of the terms of services. So
I think that does violate the Nest, because Nest says all derivatives of your data as well too. So anywhere along the path, they don't want
specific to a developer, not an end user.
I think it's both, but I may be wrong. But basically Nest doesn't want you to create any type of learning algorithm or any type of tracking on it, because that's proprietary to them.
Honestly, the more I've dealt with Nest, the more I've wished that I went with somebody like Ecobee.
Ecobee is one that we're actually very interested in exploring. Especially, I think there's a new one that just got launched yesterday.
We support two of the thermostats for Ecobee, and I think the third one will come on quite quickly, actually. I actually love the way that thermostat looks, although I would kind of like it in white, but
paint it.
The Nest is beautiful and it works really well, but dealing with a big company like that is kind of a pain. Like, I know Ecobee is really responsive to small developers.
Yeah.
Is Ecobee the developer's choice now? Because I'm thinking about dropping my Honeywell, as there's no official support for it either.
Is that the latest Honeywell Wi-Fi one, or
the Iris?
The Lyric?
I have the
Lyric, sorry, Lyric.
It's just the 7-day Wi-Fi thermostat.
Oh, okay.
There's probably gonna be a few more. I talked to someone at Disrupt that was making the Zen one, which is a Zigbee dumb thermostat that's connected. That's an interesting one.
Hey Ben, I got a great idea. Invite the community to CES and put us in your booth. Or wait, you're not gonna have a booth at CES?
This is like so funny. We were just talking about the CES booth discussion today. We had the option of taking a booth that just opened up, because like all the other booths that were available were kind of crappy. But one of the things we wanted to do with the booth is invite like all these, all of our developers and friends and doing that. I think we still want to figure out a way to like get people there. So if you're interested in coming to CES and like hanging out in our Uber decked out house or whatever else, I think we could try to make some of that happen. But I think just today we made the decision that we didn't want to bite off another thing, and so we declined our own specific booth. And so we're going to have our own house. We're going to have a huge, we're going to have a presence or a booth or something inside of Samsung's huge thing. And then we may be doing something else. I don't know, as far as like a mobile bus or something.
Oh, there we go. Just have like a bunch of nerds and geeks in a glass van driving down with laptops, turning on and off lights.
Yes.
Seems to work if you're female. I don't know.
We may have some space. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but we may have some space to showcase some of the community-driven development. So if there's, Ben, you maybe can speak a little bit more on this, but it'd be interesting to see if in our house, whether or not we can have a room or several areas where we can highlight some of the things that you guys have created.
For sure. I mean, like a lot of the coolest stuff that we talk about in all of our, meetings with, execs or investors or whatever else is coming from the community. That is our differentiator. And so, it's a good segue into some of the events that are coming up and, places that we're going to be around the country. Major can talk a little bit about some of them as he wants, but basically, just to, October 3rd through 5th, there's 3 hackathons happening in Boston. There'll be a few people from SmartThings up there, so there's a potential to meet up with them if you're in the area. There's a Minneapolis hackathon, like IoT Hack Day in Minneapolis on October 18th. So, obviously welcome to come on there. It won't be at our SmartThings office, which we should have an event at the SmartThings office again, but there will be people from SmartThings there. Toyota hackathon in Redwood City. Go ahead.
Oh, do you know where that is in Minneapolis? Is that hosted by the U?
It's IoTHackDay.mn. It's
I just post it.
Yeah,
it's on Minitronics. Go to IoTHackDay.mn. 18th October.
Yeah, 18th of October for that one.
And then Toyota, you were saying?
Yeah, the Toyota hackathon is cool. They kind of sought us out to be one of like 5 or 6 partners to come in and figure out some cool integrations with Toyota electric cars and whatever else with SmartThings. So that could be interesting. That's November 11th through 13th in San Francisco. And then
actually in Redwood City.
yeah.
And then we're also talking. Here we go. I got a link for that.
Let me go back. That was 7th through 8th in Redwood City, right? And then Samsung Developer Conferences in San Francisco. That's the 11th through 13th. If you're in San Francisco on the 11th, I think the first day of it, they might just open it up to the public. It's at the Moscone Center, and it would be, there's going to be like a huge SmartThings Samsung house in there that'll have things in there. So stop by that. And then the last 2 I wanted to mention are Wild Hacks in Chicago, November 21st and 22nd. I don't know if that's a student hackathon or not. Is that major?
Yes, student hackathon.
Yeah.
However, if any of you were in the area and wanted to come by and be a part of the SmartThings team during it, that could be cool. And then lastly, sort of the build up is CES in January, and as we already mentioned, we would like to get the community involved in some cool way.
Yeah. Jody also asked about. Sorry, go ahead, Gilbert.
No, I was going to say, there's a lot of information here. It might be good for us to just do a post on it and invite people from the community to join us if we don't already have one of these.
Obviously, we'll do that.
Good call. I was just going to say also, we chatted with Silicon Labs today, kind of brainstormed an idea about doing possibly a hardware hack/challenge, maybe around South by Southwest. So that could be, Jody asked about Dallas, so that could be something to look forward to.
Major, let me know if you want some if we want to do some enclosures for that, because Autodesk wants to do something like that too.
Cool.
So we can probably do something in collaboration together.
Okay.
They're giving away free software and maybe some free 3D molding on site possibly.
All right. So yeah, a lot of things going on. We'll probably have a few other workshop type things intermixed in there. As you can see, October and November got quite busy, so I don't even know. I really was interested in doing the Halloween hack. I think that's still not something that I think that's something we should still do, but maybe we could do it in kind of like an offline way, like a challenge post type thing or something major. We should consider how to get a cool Halloween hack thing going where people can collaborate together.
That would be cool. There's also that very, very large Halloween hackathon at Yale. I think it's at Yale.
Right.
Yeah, Y Hacks.
So want to do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
What are you going to do for Halloween instead?
Yeah, it's over Halloween. You guys should look at this link. It might be some crazy music in the background, but yhack.org is a Halloween hackathon.
It's so much fun.
Bunch of smart kids.
Get drunk. Oh, shit.
As a fun evening exercise, I think I'm going to go, because we didn't get through your whole list today, Patrick, on the call, I'm going to go through it bullet by bullet and then post on that thread. We'll see how that goes.
Would you like me to reformat it with nice, pretty bullets for you?
Nope, I already got it all bulleted.
Hey, I got something fun to share. I think I posted on the threads, but I had one of these extra Control 4 SR250 remotes. It's a Zigbee 48-button remote with a nice little LCD screen. It's now controlling SmartThings.
Give me your phone.
Nice. Yeah, I've been wanting to get some sort of Control 4 integration. I know you've been working on a few.
Well, yeah, no, the current state is for me it's two reasons, but and I posted those I think just in an update to the keypad driver that I wrote. But this remote is Zigbee. It paired up and it's working natively within SmartThings. There's no API or anything. I'm looking for somebody to help me hack this little display. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a there it is. It's got a little LCD that can actually be updated and provide feedback and data as well.
Wow.
So it's a
your version of Hello Ubi. Smack.
That's awesome.
It's a really cool device. You got 48 programmable buttons. They all show up in SmartThings. So I program mine with a little smart app to discover these, and then map it over to the Sonos controls, so I don't have to use the Sonos app. I can just hit the forward, back, play, pause, volume, all that fun stuff. So, the Mimo remote, or those little 4-button remotes, just didn't do it for me. I needed 48. You can pick them up on eBay for less than $100. So I'm hoping to get that released here shortly as well. Unfortunately, without reverse engineering the display, which I'm close to it, I just haven't been able to figure out the Zigbee commands to send to it. You have to sit here and stare at it saying waiting for network, but all the buttons work.
Going back to the whole polling of the API, I can demo here. This is my SmartThings remote. Here, I'll turn my light off in my office. And so you can see it takes like a second, and it's sending like the whole state of the world down. I sent a link to my GitHub in the comments if anybody's interested.
Is that remote or what is that?
It's just a Raspberry Pi API thing that I built. So it has I control my TV and my FOSCAM, SmartThings, Nest.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Dismo or heard of Dismo? Dizmo. It's basically they call themselves the interface of things. So they let you build an interface to control hardware devices. So we're going to hang out with them in Boston this weekend and maybe build some cool integration.
I've never heard of them. I'll take a look.
I think Jack posted something a couple minutes ago on new integrations. None of those teams reached out to us. I'm interested in seeing what you guys come up with, or if someone from their team actually reaches out to us to do something as well too.
You're talking about Canary, Notion, Ring, and Jibo. So 2 of those have actually been other things before. What was Notion called before? Loop?
Oh, was that Loop? Was that the team that said that they can do everything?
Yeah, and then Ring used to be Doorbot, which I believe we have a few Doorbots around.
Yeah.
No, I think that they're cool. I think Canary is interesting.
Canary, isn't it? No, that's Piper. Piper is now part of.
I know Piper got bought by iControl or something, but Canary is nice. Canary is sort of like what I would have done if I didn't care about the bill of materials for the hub. Like, oh yeah, let's just make the hub the thing, And I think that's really cool. But I don't know. And then Jibo, I love Jibo because it freaks James Stolp, our head of product, out. Like he just is like, that thing is creepy. It'll never work, and whatever else. And I'm like, no, it's totally gonna work.
Is that robot that robot that can take pictures for you and all that?
Yeah. And they have this Disney animator, someone that's supposed to be doing all the stuff. So
it simultaneously bills itself to do everything and nothing at all. So
it's the Seinfeld Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Just
watch. I love that it was and it's a platform, and then they show it turning off the lights. I was like, of course it is.
Yeah.
So the drunk tech review of the Jibo. It's the greatest.
Oh, is there one?
It's
a little bit offensive toward the end.
That's how we should have opened this call.
So Jack, I think half those things that you listed aren't even launched yet. The Ring, I don't think is launched. Jibo's not launched. Notion's not launched. I think Piper and Canary are the only ones that actually have products out there that we can even try to do something with if we wanted to.
Anybody see the GE Wink bulb commercial with Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
Of course.
That was
It was
awesome.
like, it laid it on really thick at the end, but it was pretty awesome. How about the Samsung like million pun commercial?
Oh, that was classic.
The Hasselhoff one was good too.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, what is that?
What is he posting? Oh, that's it. That's the Nimbus.
Oh, that's the Nimbus?
That's the quirky Nimbus.
That's perhaps one of the oldest submissions that we have yet to approve.
Is it any good though?
Nimbus is all right. I have one on my desk, and I don't know. It tells me the current temperature, how long it's going to take me to drive home at that given time, and how many minutes to my next meeting. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool.
I always find a lot of those convenience tools that promote themselves will save you all this time. You spend 8 hours a day trying to just get them to work.
Yeah.
Actually, it just worked really out of the box. Give you a couple choices and it's done.
Yeah.
Setup.
Of all the quirky devices, that's probably the one that I like the most.
Is that Ermin playing ping pong with a laptop?
Holding his computer up? Nice. Hey there.
I think now we know why Android isn't getting any love. Too much paper.
No, that's
luckily
a new thing. Yeah.
Well, that's not even
So
the same
I'm
office
moving-
that all the engineers are in.
Yeah.
Somebody
I'm moving
started-
west. That's
broken.
news, right?
What's that?
I'm moving out west. I got a house, so San Francisco bound.
Yeah, you're gonna have to throw a housewarming.
When are you
People
moving?
out there. Probably before the end of October. So yeah.
Oh.
Quick.
What's a quirky kegerator? I hear that. Kegerator. Yeah, the refuel is done. Also, it needs to be submitted here real quick. That's the one that does the gas tank measurement from Quirky Wink. So it's integrated into the Quirky Wink app.
That
That's
actually
pretty
is
cool.
kind of cool. Does it now? Have you found it to be like reliable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What I like about it is the device that talks to the Wink is actually separate from the weight device. So you put here.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of spotters I would love to reuse.
I guess the spotter's working too. They work actually pretty nice now.
Have they firmware updated them or something?
Yeah, it was on their side, but
are we gonna resubmit it?
It's in the new build that I'm going to submit. I need to I had some issues with how to deal with child devices that had sub-child devices to a service manager, how they would delete when you would delete one or delete all. Anyway, this is the device. It looks just like the spotter. It's the same.
Yeah, it does.
Right there.
It's the spotter black edition.
Yeah, but then you have this, which the text sits on. Now this will transmit every time it vibrates. So it actually goes to sleep until it vibrates. So if you put it on the back of the barbecue when you open the door, it transmits. When you close the door, it transmits. But if it's still, it doesn't do anything. So I was thinking, we could probably get some empty stuff in. So what's cool about it, you can probably use it as somebody's trying to sleep.
You got to speak up into the microphone.
Oh.
Yeah.
You could probably use it. Somebody's trying to steal my barbecue.
Or you can put a multi in there as well too. That might work.
Yeah, but it works very well. Talking about the kegerator, it's calibrated for the weight of gas, natural gas, propane. So you might have to tweak some firmware to get a keg. How empty is a keg out of it?
I'm sure we can figure it out.
I'm sure.
All right. Before we end, is there anything else that anyone wants to share? Any projects?
I'll reiterate it then at the end of this meeting, what I've reiterated on the forums in a couple places. I think that everyone will start to see the pace of our development increase a bit. I think you'll be surprised at some of the things that we are releasing in the next couple of weeks and months. And no one in our community or none of our customers thinks we're going slower than Alex. So Alex, our CEO, is like, the one who wants us to move the fastest. And so as long as he's continuing to drive innovation and things at our company, we will always be driving to move faster.
True that.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you guys on the forums and see you in a few weeks on the next call. In the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out to me or anyone else on the call directly to address questions or obviously post on the forum.
Yeah, feel free to tag us on the community if there's things that you guys are working on that you guys want to share or just anything. It keeps us awake on the forums.
What's the score in the ping pong match? Do we know?
He's gone. Are they gone?
7-9.
Nope.
10-9 now.
Hey, Major, show the clapper.
Oh yeah. Right now it's 10-9. It's game point.
I know. This is
wait. Do you have the foosball table? That's the real pressing question.
No, there's no foosball.
Oh, no foosball yet.
Kidding me?
That's not even our. I guess that's not even our ping pong table, right? That's like they're gonna take that away.
Here's the demo. All right, ready? Ermin's gonna clap.
It's already on. There you go.
You gotta keep your mic going. You have to keep talking.
Oh.
You've reinvented something from the 80s. Congratulations.
It costs like $100.
Clap off.
How much?
It's a $100 clapper because of the Arduino shield and the Arduino board.
Yeah.
Progress.
That doesn't include the development time either. Pressing security guard.
Hey, there you go. Hey, can we do it off the mic?
Maybe.
Moore's Law be damned. $100 for a clapper. We're going the opposite way.
Try to clap someone. Clap.
We need a Rip Goldberg machine here.
One LED went off.
Really do. Patrick, have you been around long enough to see our really early Rube Goldberg machine video?
No. Love to see a link of it.
We did that in the Minneapolis office way back, when we didn't even have a real hub yet before Kickstarter. I'll try to find that really quick.
I graduated from Purdue where we have the Rube Goldberg contest every year. It was a lot of fun to do.
You can't cross. He's got to cross.
I got to cross.
I'm just enthralled by this ping pong match. I haven't seen a ping pong ball yet. Oh wait, it's just a lag on the cameras.
Yeah, I don't think you can see it if you wanted to. Ermin's that fast.
Come on, you could do it. Pull it off. Oh! We need commentary. Go McEnroe. Come on, I dare you. Throw the paddle. And there it is.
All right, I think that's the end of our call.
Hey,
Probably.
Gilbert, do you want to talk a little bit about the Mimo Light after this, or you got time?
Let me call you tomorrow. I will call you. When's a good time to call you tomorrow?
Tomorrow evening.
Okay, I'll call you tomorrow evening. I'll email you. I'll email you with my phone number.
What the SmartThings dev team has been to.
Found a video.
You found it?
It took way longer to find than I thought, but I think that's the right one. I don't know how to share it so everyone can see it at the same time, so everyone can watch that as they want.
Okay.
Oh, you sending a link?
Yeah.
It's in the chat. Yeah, okay. Don't get excited about it, but it's got a sword in it, so.
Wait, it's got to be good if it starts off with a sword.
I don't even know if the sword does anything, but it's my sword, so.
Okay.
There's a motion sensor here. Oh, you loading it? Cool.
Who's loading it?
Somebody is. I want to
I'm
see
sure
it.
a bunch of
Someone
people are.
tried and then they didn't.
I tried. It's not working.
It totally would have been good. All right, well, go with that tonight, and get back to the forums tomorrow, and we can talk.
Hey, actually, Todd, give me a call on my cell. I think you have my number. It should be on my signature. Just give me a call
tomorrow?
now. No, just call me now.
Okay.
Patrick, thanks for joining the call today. I'm glad that you joined the call and didn't just want to post the big thing and drop it.
Hey, yeah, no, and let me make it very clear for the record before you end this. As much as I may now be a squeaky wheel, it's not for my lack of support for the platform. And so I know there might be some people who are actually trying to consider whether or not they should go with SmartThings. And trust me, I wouldn't be sticking around if it wasn't working.
Right, and you wouldn't spend an hour writing a post if you wanted to go with something else. So I totally get where you're coming from. Like, you just drop, we would just never hear from you again. So
exactly,
that's when we have to be concerned, is when we don't hear from you for a couple days.
And I want to encourage people to speak out. I know a lot of developers are shy about expressing their opinions. I'll be a vocal advocate for moving things forward, from the voice of the developer / pro consumer. And, but you guys are responding, you're listening. It's just not moving fast as anybody wants it. We know that, but it's as long as we keep this dialogue going, customers will keep coming.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks everyone for joining on a Wednesday evening.
Bye, guys.
See you guys later.
Sounds good. Take care, guys. Thanks.